Hey everybody, Eric Thurber here from Thurber Shots. So, you want to shoot drone footage professionally. Today we're going to get into that. We're going to go over 5 different categories of things that I think are important to pull these things off. Okay, so number 1 is going to be packing. Number 2 is going to be accessorizing the drone for operations over people and traffic. And if you're not going to be flying directly over those things, we could talk about that too. Arriving early and parking. This is a very necessary thing to talk about. And then working with local authorities. So I like to make sure they always know the events that I'm at and what I'm doing. And then finally we'll talk about shooting the scenes and working with crowds. So let's get started. Okay, so let's talk about packing for a minute. In most cases I have to actually plan the shoot ahead of time. And we'll talk about parking as well here in a second, but you know, I have to plan for the actual event at the time and what I can carry with me on the scooter when I get there, right? So what I'll do is I'll put everything I can in one backpack, and that's going to be the drone, which has its own case, right? Then I have the prop cards, then I have the parachute, then I got a plan to stop and put it all together and all of that stuff, right? So, and then in my pocket I'll keep other stuff like the little camera and the strobe. So that also leads us into the next topic, which is arriving early and parking. So I'll try to arrive to an event, you know, an hour, 2 hours, sometimes 3 hours beforehand, just to get good parking. In the city of San Francisco, parking is very hard to find. A lot of the times they have these events closed off, so you can't access them. So my thing is just to arrive early and plan ahead. Okay, so let's talk about working with authorities for a minute. If you're going to film at these larger events, they're going to be there. You're going to have a heavy police presence, and you're also going to have Department of Homeland Security there, DHS. And they typically ride with a police officer out of uniform, and their whole job is to patrol for drone pilots and ensure that they're doing everything legally. And that's it. That's their whole job. They're running around all day long at this event, finding these pilots, and they will find you. They have tech that finds you whether or not you have remote ID. It knows when your signal is coming from an RC to a drone. They know where you're standing. They know where the drone is. So if you don't have your documentation in order, you'll get cited at the very least. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about what that documentation is and when you need it. So at a very minimum, if you're filming these kind of events, you're going to need your Part 107 because it implies you're doing something professionally, or you're going to put it online, or you're going to make money from it. So the bare minimum, you'll need that. If you have your trust, that's fine too, as long as you're not over any traffic people or anything like that. Even with the Part 107, you still need to have your 2 waivers, right? Which is the 107.145 and 107.39, which are operations over moving vehicles and operations over people. And that does require all the other accoutrements that you've seen me put on my drone before, which are the parachute, the prop guards, the strobe, and you also need to make sure you have your visual observer. So if you're not going to fly over people though, it's not such a big thing. You don't need to have all that stuff, but you do need to be aware of where you're flying and how you're flying over these events. Because whenever you're launching, you can see by some of the videos I'm sharing here, I have to get into the middle of crowds. And I have to often launch, I have to clear an area. A lot of the time, the San Francisco Police Department, they have been excellent to work with. They'll help me clear an area, and they know why I'm there and that I'm all legal for everything. So it's just really a matter of being aware of your surroundings and what you need to do to pull these things off, not just legally, but safely.